Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Hello, and welcome to the Title Podcast, the podcast brought to you by The Wheel. I am your host, Adam Hess, and with me, as always, he currently has 2 points in the Candidates 2026, putting him firmly in first place to challenge for the World Championship. It's Mike Regan. Mike, how you doing today?
You're talking about cricket?
Nope. Don't watch cricket.
No?
Who fucking
Some
cares
kind of
about
soccer
cricket?
thing?
Who fucking cares about cricket? This is ridiculous, Mike.
Water polo? Handball?
It's fucking ridiculous. Not a team sport, Mike. I don't know why you keep thinking that I'm talking about a team sport. Mike, we are a football podcast brought to you by the same people that in a few days will bring you a podcast about if Bruce Cassidy was crucified for the sins of the Vegas Golden Knights ownership. But we are here today, Mike, to talk about the NFL, the National Football League. For my money, the best North American football league on the planet. But Mike, before we get to our main event today, which is you wanting to talk about prospects, big fucking surprise. First, we got some news items to check off, Mike. We got some news items to check off here. You see, there's news to talk. First and foremost, Mike, the owners' meetings are going on right now, which means Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft are probably getting hand jobs.
True. You keep talking about those hand jobs. I'll be back in one second.
Mike turned off a light and completely enveloped himself in darkness. Oh, now he's turning off more lights, which is somewhat surprising. Hey, if you want to see all the lights Mike is turning off, tune in to the video podcast. Well, it's now the Discord video stream is no longer lagging, so I guess Discord just has a lot of trouble with high light environments.
Okay.
But Mike, the more important thing than Robert Kraft getting once again a hand job that he had to pay for is these referees, Mike. We gotta talk about these referees. You ever hear about how upset Brady gets whenever anyone brings up the Robert Kraft handjob story?
He's very I think that got during that roast of him got a couple jokes, and every time he was just like,
yeah, he does not
he doesn't
like that. He does not like the Robert Kraft handjob jokes, and I personally just want to make more of them because Brady doesn't like them.
Yeah.
That roast also had a shot of Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick doing a shot together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time I realized that Bill Belichick, eats and drinks.
He is a human, not a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, that and obviously his young girlfriend that he's doing weird sex stuff with.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about her in a while. She's been out of the news. I guess UNC doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter. Oh, you got more light again, and now your video slowed down again. Yeah, I guess
That's
Discord
so weird.
doesn't like to process light.
Yeah, is it distracting, or are we good? Because my
we're
OBS
fine.
video is fine. Okay.
We're fine. It's just that I think that Discord expects gamers to be seen in dark caves. So whenever anyone's not seen in a dark cave, they're like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, you can only handle blue light from screens.
Yeah. And Neko streamers. But Mike, these NFL referees. For those of you who are younger than 14 years old, which I assume is 99 to 100% of our audience, back in 2012, we had a similar situation where the NFL Ref Association was holding out for more money. At the time, it was $3 million total dollars. This time, it's going to end up being much more. But we ended up having scab refs for a few games. Some of the highlights from that include the world-famous Fail Mary, where on a last-second Hail Mary play by Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks against the Green Bay Packers in Week 1, I believe on Monday Night Football, definitely prime time. Hail Mary play to end the game. It's caught by both the defender and the receiver at the same time. The defender ends up coming up with the ball, and one ref on the ground calls it incomplete, and one ref calls it a touchdown on the screen next to each other at the same time. They end up awarding the touchdown to Seattle in what is a walk-off play in a season that Seattle went on to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's true or not. 2012, that would have been, Seattle. 2013, Super Bowl.
Yeah. Can you, I had to look it up because I couldn't remember the year the last ref strike was, and I had to double check it. I was like, 2012, is that right? Because to me, it felt like it was 4 years ago for some reason.
That's what getting old's like, Mike.
Yeah.
Everything feels recent. I was rewatching The Iron Giant recently. And I was like, I swear to God, that movie came out 2 years ago. Turns out 1999. You know?
Yeah, you're a bit off.
I remember that being a pandemic movie.
Yeah.
The other notable thing that happened that in my quick perusing I had forgotten about was that in an overtime game, the Tennessee Titans were awarded 27 yards on a 15-yard penalty because the refs counted from the wrong 44.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Counting's hard.
the refs were bad. They ended up throwing significantly less flags than refs typically do, which is
Might be good,
instructive
then.
and interesting. So that's good to know. But Mike, where is this headed? Is this bad for the NFL? And how will this look in a world of gambling?
Well, I don't think it's going to get like sorted out quickly. It will probably go up to the deadline of maybe the preseason, or maybe even they'll be like, preseason doesn't even matter, so try to get it done by the regular season. I think there's definitely a
What if, though? But what if they just
Yeah.
take the money they were giving Megan Trainor for that State Farm commercial and gave that to the refs? Do you think that would solve it?
No, that commercial's way too good. Way too
It
good. Give me
might be
your
the best.
arm.
might be the best insurance commercial of all time. I'm willing to say that. It's up there with the
think so.
original Caveman commercials.
There's definitely a non-0% chance that we could get scab refs again for a little while, just because like this, we're going to keep running into this issue every time they have to renegotiate. If things keep going the way they're going, like NFL revenue keeps going up year over year. We haven't seen 2025's revenue yet, but 2024 they set a record for like hitting 23 billion, and therefore the amount of money the teams get keeps going up. And you know that every time the refs are going to be like, "Well, money's up, so I feel like we should get a little more of the pie there, brother." And this is going to keep happening.
Do you think that when they hit 23 million, they did like the Wolf of Wall Street line, but in reverse? 23
Which
billion,
line?
where they were like, and that really pissed me off because I wanted to try to make 1 billion per week.
That's right, yeah.
That movie's a gym. It's a gym movie.
It's a
Gym
gym.
Mint. PSA 10 movie. If that movie was in the candidates, it would have 2 points already.
That was the movie that the people at Warner Brothers watched, and they were like, Margot Robbie kind of sound like Harley Quinn. Yeah, she kind of sound like Harley Quinn.
Yeah, they watched that, and Adam McKay said, I'm going to put this DiCaprio guy in as a scientist.
Yeah, he looks smart.
So here's what I think's the most interesting thing about this, or the biggest question, the what if, as it were.
Yeah.
If scab refs are bad, what is the lingering effect on trust in the product amongst the gambling populace? Could we have a potential manufactured scandal about scab refs ruining spreads, affecting lines intentionally?
Yeah, I mean, you could say, like, oh, they know they're not going to have, like, this isn't a full-time thing. They're not going to be back. So why not pocket as much cash as you can in the meantime? I mean, just like on a more broader sense, it is. I mean, it's a few years now of dealing with it, but it's just crazy to see how like so many things can tie into gambling now because it's so legal everywhere.
Yeah.
And how it's so much more of a like we have to think about that. And I could sidebar and go off my tangent about how like ESPN and these companies that have literal media rights deals with these sports should not be promoting gambling or have deals with gambling websites, but that's just me. So yeah, I mean, I guess that would be a concern. You know, you get some shady scab ref. He's talking to some guy in an alleyway in a trench coat. Yeah.
I think they're both wearing trench coats. If I see a scab ref out on the field wearing a trench coat, I'm immediately flagging that guy for potential points.
Yeah, because they can just cover it up and be like, hey, I'm not used to this. You know, I suck at this. I'm a bad ref. I was reffing T-ball, before I got here.
Do you think we could bring back the trench coat? What if we started doing every podcast in trench coats?
I don't know. I think we should just go for a nice duster instead.
Can I one-up my absolutely ridiculous Iron Giant reference?
Yeah.
I was watching Observe and Report last night, and in that, the Flasher
with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, Seth Rogen, Michael Pena, Ray Liotta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out the legend.
Yeah. Who has sex in a car in that
power.
movie. But I was watching that, and the Flasher in that has a trench coat, and I was like, has a trench coat since like the 1920s, like noir, this Dick Solves a Crime, movies. Mm-hmm. Has anyone bought a trench coat for non-nefarious purposes?
Yeah, it's just to flash people, usually.
It's to flash people, or it's full of drugs. Those are the two reasons people wear trench coats.
Or to meet in a parking lot or a parking garage to give people
doing a deep throat thing.
Facts about Watergate, yeah.
I mean, for all I know, after that, Deep Throat was in fact going to go flash other people in that parking garage, though.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We weren't there.
So after this, I'll probably watch all the President's Men.
That'd be great if he gave him like all the information on Watergate, and he was like, "Oh, by the way," and just sprint it off.
Observe and Report, by the way, not a good movie, but has one of the all-time best chase sequence endings. When at the end of it, Seth Rogen just shoots the flasher as he runs into the makeup department.
Oh yeah. Pretty good.
What were we talking about? Scab refs. Mike, if this does bleed over into the season, let me ask you this: are you rooting for the NFL refs to get their pay? Are you kind of like, fuck them, you know? You're a little bit like,
I mean,
fuck 'em, you know? They're always on TV. They're like holding. I'm like, that wasn't holding. There's holding every play. You can't call holding for that.
Yeah, I mean, based on how last
they called
season,
intentional grounding on everyone all the time last season.
They can never figure out what a catch is.
Yeah, think about it. They
Like every
ruined
time they're
your
like,
playoff
"Yeah."
odds with that interception in the playoffs.
Yeah, that wasn't an interception. I mean, they could be looking for more money because based on how last season went, they're not getting those checks from Kansas City anymore. So that's hurting the wallet a little bit. They gotta make up for it somewhere.
What do you think's going to gain more ire in the comments? The 6 minutes that we did on trench coats, or us once again referencing that Kansas City is paying the refs?
I think everybody outside of Kansas City fans agree. They all have the same mindset. Like, you're fucking bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, and
So
probably
we're
people
fine.
in Kansas City, Kansas even agree, right? It's just like the Kansas City, Missouri sickos.
Yeah.
Which side is the stadium on? I think it's Missouri right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you kind of have to like Kansas City because they're in Missouri? Is that how that works?
Nope, not at all. I hate them.
Okay, got it. Mike, some other news. Every wide receiver is either getting traded, not traded, or signing to a new team. And also Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, I suppose, also.
Yeah.
So the Browns say they will not trade Myles Garrett. This comes in the wake of them reworking his contract slightly in what seemed like a move that would make his contract significantly more tradable. But then Andrew Barry, or whoever their GM is now, I assume John Krasinski, maybe? He's not doing anything right now. John Krasinski came out and said that they are not planning on trading Myles Garrett. Mike, do you believe them?
Yeah, I didn't know that there was that many rumblings that they might.
It's just
Like,
because
they got him under contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not complaining about it. And I think the Browns aren't in a spot where they're like, yeah, we got multiple years of tanking coming up. Like, I think they've been tanking for a long time, so I think the pressure's on to, like, we got to figure out a way to turn this around. And getting rid of Myles Garrett would be a negative in that destination. That made no sense, that sentence.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
The Browns also, at the owners' meetings, have withdrawn their rule proposal that would allow NFL teams to trade a draft pick 5 years into the future instead of 3.
Yeah, and I'm for that. That is so stupid.
Why? Let them trade it fucking 10 years in the future. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Fucking 40 years. Trade your pick 40 years in the future. What do I care? If another
Yeah,
team's
but
going to
that's
buy
just
it, go for it.
I guess it depends on what you like. If you like having a more balanced league with a lot of teams that are good, you probably wouldn't want that. But if you just want like more and more like super teams and juggernauts, then you'd be like, yeah, because then those juggernauts would be like, hey, we'll cash in all the chips just to get that one Super Bowl now.
Yeah, and that's
so when
that's
they
what
start to get bad the next few years, but they also have like four are missing their like first round pick for 4 straight years. You know,
I'm obviously pretty NBA pilled, but like to me, it's like fucking let them trade it a decade in the future. Like, wouldn't it be great if a team was starting to like consider tanking a little bit, or just like didn't quite click? Like, take Minnesota this year. What if they just up and traded Justin Jefferson for like a 2032, a 2030, a 2028 first? Like 3 firsts way in the future.
yeah.
Like, isn't that more fun than they trade him for like a second rounder this year and like a 5th and 6th round swap?
I'm actually, you kind of sold me on it for 2 reasons. One, if the rule change would just be going like, hey, let's go from 3 years out to 5 years out, that's like not a crazy jump. And then 2, there actually is a smart like value in that pick that's 5 years out, because you could be like, oh, I'm trading this good player to this good team, but 4 or 5 years from now, they may not be that good team anymore, and that pick could turn out to be good.
That's
so
the whole
I'm on
thing.
board with this. Let's do it.
That's like
Let's do
why.
this, yeah.
That's why the Clippers traded, or the OKC took like a pick way in the future when they traded Paul George over there for SGA, and that's the pick that's going to pay off this year because they were like, "No, you guys are gonna be bad eventually," and they were kind of right.
Yeah.
Not really, but still a better pick.
As long as they never adapt the god awful, stupid, dumb NBA rule that's like you can't not have a first round pick in consecutive years. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Rule. It's 3 years in a row.
Yeah, I don't know who Stepien is, but he can kick rocks.
He was the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mike.
Yeah, I always knew I hated them.
Yeah, they're the Kansas City Chiefs of the NBA.
No, they're not.
Who is your Kansas City Chiefs of the NBA? Indiana right now? Detroit?
No.
It was Atlanta, but now Trey's gone and they're sad.
Right. Wait, no, Kansas City has success. Why are you picking all these teams that don't?
They had more success than the Knicks, brother.
Right, but I'm trying to remember all those titles that Trae Young held above his head. I don't remember that happening.
I remember
him. You know who I think's becoming Kansas City?
Who?
The Spurs.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the obvious pick. Yeah, that's probably the right amount of response to that sentence. Mike, on the wide receiver front though, the Eagles say AJ Brown staying an Eagle, bud. Stop asking. We ain't trading him. Get out of here. Do you believe them?
They could say that with like the most conviction possible. Like Howie Roseman come out and be like, "Hey, if we trade AJ Brown, I will shoot my grandmother," and people would still be like, "They might trade AJ Brown."
Yeah, I mean, I would be like, I don't know, does he like his grandmother?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the whole thing with AJ Brown also is they're like, we're never trading him, but his contract becomes easier to trade if they just bite the bullet on his pre-June 1st money, and then after June 1st trade him. That's kind of like the move that everyone's anticipating. So I think they're just posturing. I think they're just saying, "Oh, we would never trade AJ Brown." But I'm guessing that the situation there is dire enough to where no problem.
They're trying to goat a team to give them like that deal that's just so over the top they can't say no. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, the Howie Roseman quote that's been floating around when asked about if AJ Brown is on the trade block or what the asking price is, as he's been saying, AJ Brown is a member of the Eagles. From my perspective, anything you ask me about AJ Brown is going to go right back to that answer. But I understand the interest. I put on TV and I see that there's interest. But my answer is AJ Brown is a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Notice nowhere in here did he say for life or we're not trading him. He is just stating facts.
Yeah.
He's like, AJ Brown is a member of the Eagles.
Yes, he currently is. And maybe this could just be Howie Roseman trying to not accidentally slip and say something that could make it ugly. You know, like put some like behind the scenes stuff out on the street and cause drama, because that's not going to help anything. So I think that might be more what he's doing.
And then the one other wide receiver piece of news that we need to touch on here is, have you been keeping an eye on the saga of Brandon Aiyuk and how no one knows what they're going to do with him?
Yeah, I think I saw a quote today that said someone like San Francisco said like, we hope to get something for Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah,
like,
that was Kyle
sad
Shanahan
statement.
said that.
Yeah.
John Lynch previously had said that Brandon Aiyuk had played his last snap for the San Francisco 49ers. And then Shanahan came out today and said, I know eventually it'll resolve itself. Hopefully we get something for him. I know we're in no rush to do that. We've got to do what's right for the Niners, and we're not trying to hook up any other team as fast as possibly can. Hopefully you get something for that. I'll take care of itself. By the way, the saga's not over.
Yeah.
Roughly 2 hours later, owner and noted Wall Street dickhead-looking motherfucker Jed York said, I think anything is possible, right? We want to make sure that we have a talented roster as possible. First and foremost, we need to get healthy and be able to perform. I think once that happens, it'll be a really, really good football team. That was directly in response to a question about Brandon Aiyuk's potential return to the 49ers.
Isn't there a chance they just cut him because they can't find a trade partner?
They're going to cut him. Like, why? Yeah. Like, listen, the I believe there's 31 NFL GMs who listen to us, as Jed York just walked in and made John Lynch turn the podcast off after I called him a Wall Street-looking motherfucker. But of the 31 GMs listening to us right now, listen to me. They're going to cut him. Don't trade shit for him. He's also Brandon Aiyuk. He's not fucking Megatron. He's a good receiver. You don't need to give up a 5th or a 6th-round pick to get Brandon Aiyuk now when you have a chance of just signing him when he's a free agent.
Yeah, I was even thinking, like, I mean, if you can get him on a short-term deal for pennies on the dollar because of the way the last couple of years have went, like, I'd be like, hey, Brandon Bean, give him a call.
Well, his base salary is $1.215 million against the cap, but he does get $25 million signing bonus on September 1st.
Yeah.
Which is prorated through 2030.
Of course. Proration. Very big.
Do you think, do you believe in this wide receiver core that the 49ers put together of Ricky Pearsall, Mike Evans, and Christian Kirk? You got faith in that?
Not entirely. I mean, you consider that it's an aging Mike Evans.
Yeah, people are really big on the Mike Evans. They're like, that's exactly what they need. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys. We do this every few years. Like, like, look, I'll be the first guy to say, it worked out really well for the Rams with Devontae. Like, they have an offensive genius and a quarterback literally coming off an MVP season. So, makes sense why it worked there. But every fucking year, we have some team sign the 33-year-old wide receiver who had a slight dip in production or like 1 or 2 injuries last year and go, well, he's a perfect fit there. And then he sits on an egg all season and we go, well, who could have seen this coming?
Yeah, it's just like it's the prime group for like all the social media accounts for like websites and like bigger companies that tweet out like, check out the weapons Brock Purdy has. Is there any better? And they list them all and you're like, I mean, yeah, there probably is one better. What is this question?
Mike, that's all I got for news. You got anything else that you want to bring up from the news cycle?
No, let's get into the main event of the evening.
Let's get into the main event of the evening. Mike, you're a big fan of college football, and by extension, you care more about the draft than the regular season, some would say. And as such, you have made us a comprehensive list of the top prospect across an aggregate of big boards.
12.
That's an aggregate, you know. I mean,
I just want to flex.
once you're 9 in,
yeah.
do you think
Not
like
necessary.
you know, are you like on like blogspot.draft.nfl.org or something like?
They're all reputable to an extent.
And my other question for you is, how did you organize these? Did you just literally write down their position in every single draft board, or did you have like a spreadsheet that averaged out the position of each of these players when you typed them in?
Oh, no, I just did a basic whoever had the most picks at number 1.
Okay.
So I just went through and like this many people had him at number 1, so many people had that at number 1. I did that way. Maybe that's not the best way to do it, but I think that's a fine way to do it.
So what we're going to do here, Mike, is we're going to go through and you're going to tell me if these truly are the top prospects at their position or if the big boards are a bunch of little fucking liars.
No fucking liars. Sons of bitches.
So we'll start here with a quarterback,
Yeah.
the most important position in professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando Mendoza, unanimous number 1 prospect at the position. All 12 boards saying he's number 1. True or false? Is Fernando Mendoza the best quarterback in this class?
So it's true.
Oh, never mind. I don't care about the segment anymore.
No, it is true from like an all-around standpoint. I do want to say though, I don't think the gap between him and Ty Simpson is as Grand Canyon-esque as people are acting like it is. Like Dan Orlovsky came out and like kind of put 10 toes on the ground and said that Ty Simpson's the best QB in this draft, and he got like torn to shreds. Not just on social media, but like on live air on ESPN, on the Pat McAfee show. Just got torn to shreds for that opinion. And I was like, okay, this is the NFL draft. Like, people have different takes. And like before the injuries, like Simpson was cooking, and like if the injuries did indeed play a big role in the decline in play, you consider how well he's thrown the ball at the combine, at the pro day. He looks really good. I don't think it's that big of a gap, but I do think Mendoza, from an all-around standpoint, is the best one. I will say it's still, even with Mendoza, it's a weak QB class. Mendoza's very talented, but put it this way. He does everything right. He checks all the boxes. He does it well. But there's not many times this past season where I said Mendoza just made a throw that most QBs can't make.
Yeah, who's like the common professional comp to him is Jared Goff. Do you feel like that's a good comp?
Yes. I think I comp him Jared Goff with like better sized hands and a little more tone to the muscles.
Mm-hmm. And swears less. And Jared Goff's got a filthy mouth.
Again, every time they interview Jared Goff, he's like, "Goddamn motherfucking defense over there being little bitches."
That's why they call him the censor, Jared Goff.
Yeah. Like, whoa, Jared. Whoa.
Let me ask you this about Fernando Mendoza. Will any team regret taking him number 1? Like, if the Jets trade up for 1 and they traded 2 future firsts, would they regret taking him? If the Raiders just go chalk, take him at number 1, would they regret taking him? If somehow, fucking Arizona gets up to the number 1 pick and takes him with, like, an absolute haul of picks, would they regret taking him at number 1?
I don't think a team in position to take him would regret it. Like, I don't think LA would regret taking him. But I think if you're a team who just Las Vegas, sorry, LV. But if you're a team who like gives up a good amount of assets to trade up and get him, you could regret it if his rookie year like isn't great. You have a terrible record, and then you're sitting at the draft going like, damn, well, this year we would have had our pick between like quarterbacks A, B, and C, but we gave up all this stuff to go up and get him.
Yeah, would you rather
those teams would regret it?
If you were the Jets or the Cardinals, would you rather trade your next year's first and this year's first to move up and take Mendoza, or just sit on next year's first and see how the class plays out?
Like, I think it would be better to sit on the first and see how the class plays out. However, like, some of those teams could feel a fire under their ass. Mm-hmm. There could be a GM who's like, I'm about to get fired. I have to somehow put together a competitive team if ownership isn't on the same wavelength. But, like, from, like, a basic perspective, I'd say you're probably better off just riding it out, seeing what next year looks like.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Well, we'll continue on from there. Now, I also want to note, you say that you don't think there's this massive gulf between Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza. Mm-hmm. At this next spot, I would also like to know your thoughts on the distance between the number 1 and number 2 picks. Next up, we have the running back, Jeremiah Love. Mm-hmm. Once again, unanimous across all aggregate of boards that Mike checked. No one knows the complete number of boards or which boards there were, or even if he checked any boards or just went off the dome on this. I have not fact-checked Mike.
I have them. I have them all bookmarked in a folder. I can send them to you if you want.
Do you have? Let me ask you this. For this, did you write it down like physical notes, or do you have a Google Doc with all the positions saved?
I have a Google Doc.
Okay, you're a physical notes guy, Mike. It's not being like redundant or diminutive of your.
I mean, I also
accomplishments.
Well, no,
you're a physical notes.
I did use a pen and pad, like tally things.
Okay, you see, that's what I was asking, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Currently number 1, number 3 on the PFF big board overall, but the number 1 running back, Jeremiah Love. Is he truly the best running back in the class?
Absolutely.
Okay, on to the next one. Wide receiver.
No, 100%. He's one of the best running back prospects. You know, he's up there with Bijan,
almost
Saquon,
a year.
that level running back prospect. Vision, patience, size, the ability to fight through contact for extra yards, where he also has a good ability to bounce off contact. And he didn't need to really go out there and get on the field during the combine, but he did and just dropped like a 4.36 on his 40 just to like really hammer the point that he's got it all.
So my first question for you is, he's typically a zone scheme guy. Do you think that his ability translates to any scheme, or would you say avoid him if you don't run a scheme that makes sense for what he did in college?
No, I think he can go between the tackles. That's what you're asking.
Ish.
Yeah.
More like power blocking versus zone blocking. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. I think he would work in any scheme.
Yeah, because like zone, Zone requires more mental fortitude. In my read on it, zone requires like understanding the play, knowing what everyone's assignment is, knowing where you're going based off that. Gap is like you have to have instant vision, one cut ability, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd say he has good one cut ability. If you kind of watch the tape on him, see some of the plays he made, he can hit that hole and then make his cut, or make his cut then hit that hole.
Is this the largest drop off between the top prospect and the second best prospect in this class?
Ooh, I mean, it would probably either be this. It would probably either be this or I guess quarterback, depending on your opinion there. But yeah, like PFF's big board, which you just referenced, has Jeremiah Love as the 33rd highest prospect, and then Jadarian Price, go Irish baby, as the 56th at second.
Yeah,
so big,
you said 33rd. He's just third. He's the third highest prospect.
Oh, I meant to say third. I'm sorry.
You said 33rd. You dropped your boy. I think that you were trying to Jedi mind trick teams into letting Jeremiah Love fall to the Bills in the 20s.
No. We're good. We got James Cook, but
yeah, but think about how good that offense would be if it's James Cook, Jeremiah Love, Josh Allen. Would we be the team to finally like bring back the like split halfback set, and make it cool again? One of them could be the fullback.
It's true. Yeah. Reggie Gilliam's gone. We need one.
You could just have all three of them stand in a clump. You don't know who's going to get the ball, who's going to throw it, who's going to run it. They're running routes.
Oh man, him. You could have Cook, Love, and Ray Davis on the field. Start running some of that stuff. We got three guys in the backfield.
How many of your offensive linemen can you take out to add in more running backs? Like, could you get up to like 7 running backs back there?
I don't know. No one's ever tried it.
Yeah. Just go out there with a center, Josh Allen, and 7 running backs. Well, let's be clear. It's the Buffalo Bills, so 2 tight ends also.
I feel like there's probably a rule that you have to have 5 guys on the line, but I don't know.
Just line up the running backs there. Make them eligible receivers.
Oh, there you go. It's an idea. I think it would go terribly. I'll be honest with you. I think it would go terribly.
Yeah, remember when they ran the longest yard play for Indianapolis? When they like had everyone line up for the punt and everyone just ran to the other side.
Yeah.
The Colts have been dog shit since the second Peyton Manning left. Mike, how much value would a team lose out on by not taking Jeremiah Love in the first and just waiting and grabbing Jadarian Price, Mike Washington, one of those guys later on?
I mean, it is we all know what's happened to like the value of running backs in the NFL over the past 15 years. So, I mean, in this draft, I think there is like a big difference in the two, but I could also understand being like, hey, we've seen a lot of day 2 running backs pop off. So let's wait and see what we can get. I think Jadarian Price is also very talented. He didn't get the ball as much, but I think he's also very talented. But if you are a team in the first round and you're like, we need a running back, then it's just it's a match made in heaven.
So you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
Team in the first round that needs a running back, brother.
I'll be oh my God, I'll be pissed. I'm already like dealing with the fact that if he slides, it's not crazy to think that he goes to like Dallas.
You're pissed about that?
Yeah, because I don't really like Dallas. No one does unless you're a Dallas
You love
fan.
George Pickens.
Yeah, I mean, I do like George Pickens. That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fucking liar. Fucking lying on my podcast. My podcast. Don't you forget it. Mike, next up, we have the wide receivers. Now, this was a very split category. We're currently across your supposedly 12 big boards. Carnell Tate's the first wide receiver on 6 of them. Jordan Tyson, the preseason favorite, is the first wide receiver on 5 of them. And Malachi Lemon on 1, which I assume was on malachilemon.wordpress.com.
I think it might have been on my personal big board because that's what I'm about to say, just so you know.
Mike, is Carnell Tate the best wide receiver in this class?
I'm going to say false, Adam.
I didn't ask it as a true false.
I'm going to say no, Adam. It's a great, like I said, once again, he's talented. He, despite getting much less targets, like for Ohio State, because he was playing, other side of the field with Jeremiah Smith, who's a fucking phenom, and just not normal. He still like led the team in, yards per receptions, maybe touchdowns. I can't remember. But that's because he became their stretch the field guy. Mm-hmm. They're doubling Jeremiah Smith. The entire defense is just staring at them. And then you have the plays where Carnell Tate slips through and then Julian Sand hits him. He's very talented. I saw one guy comp him to like a beefy Devontae Smith, and I don't hate that.
Can't even picture
but
that.
To me, I think his ceiling. What?
I can't even picture that.
Yeah, that is true.
Like Devontae Smith, you start hammering slices.
Maybe. Yeah. But to me, his ceiling is very like top of the league wide receiver too, compared to Malachi Lemon, my pick,
So
who I
Devontae
think.
Smith.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to Malachi Lemon, who I think does have wide receiver 1 potential. Like, yeah, I get it. He's 5'11", 195. The guy run a fantastic route runner, good hands. In a weird way, I think he was somewhat more explosive just due to his catch and run ability. And like I think you're getting maybe like potentially like an Amon-Ra St. Brown, like wide receiver 1 level guy. Potentially, I'm talking like ceiling. For just the way he's such like a good route runner. Like, yeah. And he also has good hands and great athleticism that can make up for his size deficiencies. So, yeah, I'm all in.
Let's talk about the size deficiencies here for a second. He's very small.
That was your whole... What's Tyreek Hill?
That's what I was going to say. The history of wide receiver 1s that small is basically just Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's 5'10".
He's 5'10".
Yeah.
Malachi's got a whole inch on him.
But like
So
the
he'll be
history
like a whole
of
inch
wide receiver
better.
1s at that size is basically just Tyreek Hill. Outside of that, you
Well,
don't
like-
see wide receivers that small reach wide receiver 1 status.
The guy I name dropped in Amon-Ra St. Brown is 6 foot. It's only an inch difference there.
Okay, but you just bragged about an inch over Tyreek Hill, so why are you now dismissing Amon-Ra St. Brown's inch?
It's called using facts to only help your narrative.
Amon-Ra St. Brown also carries significantly more muscle than Malachi Lemon, which is an important thing for separation in the NFL.
That's true.
I know. I don't love spending a top 10 pick on a wide receiver 1 who people are hoping can be a wide receiver 1 at 5'11". I will say, right now, I've seen him mocked a lot to the Ravens.
Ooh.
Which would be very funny because they already have Zay Flowers, who is
Yeah, they're fine.
a very small guy
will-
that they drafted to be their wide receiver 1, and he's too small to do that.
A similarity between this wide receiver class and like this QB class is next year's could be ridiculous. Depending on who comes out with like Jeremiah Smith and Cam Coleman will be draft eligible. Some of those guys. So teams might be like, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for next year's draft and for Brandon Aiyuk to get released, and we'll sign him for like $10 million for 1 year.
I think that we kind of saw that signal in free agency too, where wide receivers kind of got a payday.
Yeah.
Let's talk Jordan Tyson though. Jordan Tyson, until just about the turn of the year, was easily the top guy in this class, and then kind of started losing steam to Carnell Tate, and after the season was over, fell off a cliff. What did Jordan Tyson do wrong that led people to dropping him down draft boards?
I don't know if he. You can make the argument that he didn't do anything wrong, that his team dipped in how well they were playing. He missed some games because of injury, and then obviously their starting quarterback, Sam Levitt, got knocked out of the season. That's like roughly like two-thirds of the way in. I can't remember the exact time, and so like the numbers just dropped compared to the season before because of those reasons. But I mean, if you are looking at Malachi Lemon and you're like too small, you're looking at Jordan Tyson, you're like 6'2", 200. Little beanstalk, little bean sprout motherfucker.
Yeah, a little bit of beanpole.
Yeah. I thought he had himself a good combine as well. Wait, he was at the combine. So I think he could do well. I still just stand with I think Malachi Lemon, you could argue you could tell me, like, I think his floor is deeper, and I'd be like, okay, I understand that. I think his ceiling is higher than both of those other guys, Tate and Tyson. Tate and Tyson, attorneys at law. I like that. Like a USA show if their NFL careers don't work out.
If you ask me, I've never seen a clearer draft where it's just like take a day 2 guy, especially if Denzel Boston drops to day 2.
That's fair.
As just like get out of the first round without a wide receiver, find something deeper in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Bryce Lance. It worked out great with his brother in the NFL. So, and your large son Elijah Surratt, but I don't really want
Elijah Surratt.
I don't want any of these top 3 guys, and I'm sure Washington's going to end up drafting 2 of them somehow. But I don't want any of these top 3 guys.
Yeah, I mean, this could be we could be a situation where we're looking at like Tate, Lemon, Tyson, Cooper, Boston, Concepcion, like that top 6 going into the season, and being like, let's put them all at minus 110 to be the best rookie wide receiver.
Yeah,
But
with that, let's move on to actually the best rookie pass catcher, Mike. Unanimous first tight end off the board, according to your suspect research. Kenyon Sadiq.
Why do you keep doing that?
I don't know. I think it's funny. It's a good bet.
Hurts my feelings.
Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah.
Who I would say actually kind of disappointed this year relative to expectation. Is it that no one else reached up to grab the mantle, or is the profile just so good that he can disappoint for a year and it doesn't matter?
Well, I will say you could say it's not the strongest of tight ends classes. Mm-hmm. You could say Oregon's offense likes to spread the ball around. I think, we're still talking about a tight end here. He caught 8 touchdowns. And I feel like that's a big thing with NFL teams when they look at tight ends. They're kind of like, yardage is one thing, but we want to see that tight end that's just like a threat in the red zone.
Yeah.
NFL teams really like that. So 8 touchdowns are good. Also, you watch the tape, you see him work out, and you're like, this dude is a physical freak at 6'3", 245, and he's like, I'm just going to go run, what was it? I think it was a 4.39 at the combine. Yeah, 4.39.
Incredibly fast. How much worse
I think he is
Eli Stovers than Kenyon Sadiq? Is this gulf between the two warranted, or could either one of these guys be the best tight end in the class?
I think the gulf between the two's somewhat. I'd say it's warranted, but I will say not maybe as large of a gap, just because we've seen so many tight ends who later round picks work and pop off, and become, especially like when you have to look at like what kind of offense do I run? Is my tight end being an offensive threat? Do I have to have that, or is my tight end really just more like a second to third option for my QB when the prime option on this plate isn't open? Is he just a guy I'm going to go to in the red zone, short yardage? Like, depending on your offense, it's just what you're looking for in the tight end varies. Also, there's been some tight ends. I've noticed this. There's been some tight ends where like their college production is like meh, and they get in the NFL and it's like way high. Like, look at legit Laporta. Like, he had shit production at Iowa, and then he popped off in the NFL.
So we are in a little bit of a tight end renaissance where the last few years, top half of the draft picks at tight end have been incredibly productive rookies.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see both Sadiq and Stovers as guys who can do that year one? Is it just Sadiq? Is it neither one of them is a year one guy?
I think Sadiq could do it. I will say,
and that's
if you're
Kenyon
telling
Sadiq,
me to,
right? Not Sadiq
Kenyon,
Bey.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, not Sadiq Bey. I will say, if you're asking me like Bowers versus Sadiq, like Bowers all day. That's not close.
I mean, that'd be like if I sat down here and was like Drake May versus Fernando Mendoza. Like, we're just comparing this class to this class, not this class to previous classes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's
what's up
ever been a year, at least no year pops to like in my mind where it's been like, oh my god, this tight end class, there's like 5 of them. Who's going to be the first one?
I mean, last year was 2 of them.
Warren and and Loveland. Yeah, that's right. Loveland made that big push throughout the pre-draft process, and
and guess who was playing in the playoffs later, Mike? Not
the
your fucking Alex Anzalone looking motherfucker.
He does kind of look like Alex Anzalone. He's a little more fun.
Yeah, he's a white guy with long hair. What else would he look like?
I still don't believe Alex Anzalone is white. I've seen the picture. AI.
No, AI is black. I watched him play basketball in 2002.
Yeah.
Mike, offensive tackle. Now this one's contentious for the top spot according to your research.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of this is just a facet of holdout from earlier in the season, but the top two prospects right now, Francis Mauigoa edges out Spencer Fauno for more of the first tackle off the board hype. It is somewhat of a weak tackle class, but is Francis Mauigoa the best prospect at tackle in this draft?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, I think there's Monroe Freeling is ranked pretty high as well, but I still personally think it's like Mauigoa, Fano, you're getting a legit starting tackle for a long time, and then it drops off. I thought Caden Proctor would be that, but he's definitely much more of a question mark, unfortunately. Both these guys are very good. If whatever one goes off the board first, I ain't going to argue it. I just today was watching the film on the plays where one of the top edge rushers in David Bailey was going against Spencer Fano, and Fano handled him very well. And like as the game went on, adapted. Like Bailey caught him early with a move, like early in the game, and then he tried to go to that move later, and Fano was like, "Nah, I downloaded it. You're done, son." I am going to say true and go with Mauigoa. Good footwork, quick first step off the line. He's got that good form. He gets that dumper out, gets low, get the hands up. Get that. Yeah, that's what you got to do is tackle. You get that dumper out. So I am going to go Mauigoa, and like he was a big part in how well Miami ran the ball in their path to playing in the national championship game.
So today, your best friend Matt Miller put out a 7-round mock draft on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
He has Mauigoa going third.
Wow.
Do you believe in Mauigoa as a top 3 prospect in this draft, taking into account obviously positional versatility or positional importance? I should say.
Oh yeah, I have Tankathon pulled up just because to make sure I was right in like who's picking what, like who's picking where. I had the draft order up to be safe, and they also have Mauigoa going third. I mean, that'd be that would give the Cardinals 2 just fucking stud tackles.
Yeah, I love the idea of the
Paris
Cardinals.
Johnson Jr. and Mauigoa.
I love the Cardinals like in concept having Paris Johnson Jr., Mauigoa, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Michael Wilson running routes downfield. Trey McBride, and then behind all of it, baby, the brisket, Jacoby Brissett, dirt and passes 13 yards down the field.
You know what? It's funny you say, like, you asked the question about the Cardinals regret trading up. Trade back, take Ty Simpson. Get something and have a shot in a quarterback.
I am if I was able to like find that fortune telling machine from Big and make one wish about this draft, upcoming draft. First off, it'd be for all the best prospects to go to Washington after none of them get drafted. But if they won't let me do that, my second wish would be for the Cardinals to trade down.
Yeah,
you're in a rebuild, Mike. If you say you bought a property. You bought, like, land, and on that land was a dilapidated barn. Do you just start hammering wood into the barn, or do you tear the barn down first?
You tear the barn down.
Yeah, so tear the barn down, Arizona. Trade back. You ain't winning the Super Bowl this year. Don't make moves to win the Super Bowl this year. Trade back, get future capital, get your tackle of the future next year when you have 2 first-rounders.
Yeah, I like that move for them.
But, Mike, moving on to the interior offensive line. Another unanimous pick here in Ione out of Penn State, the interior offensive line. PFF agrees with you, Mike. They have him 16, and the next interior offensive line doesn't come off the board on day 1. Is Ione the best interior offensive line prospect in this draft?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much like set in. People have been talking about Ione all year. He played phenomenal. Part of the line that was putting up blocks for Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, 6'4", 328. I mean, I think most years there's like one interior offensive lineman, usually always a guard, that pops out to be like, yeah, that guy's a definite first-round pick, and then the rest are going later. He's that guy this year.
How do you face the charges that Emmanuel Pregnon played better than him this year? And yet is going 20 spots later, Mike.
In what sense he played better? Like PFF grade?
At football, I would say.
Well, I mean, by like PFF grade and stuff like that, but like watch the tape, I think Ione is fantastic.
Like
what he can do.
Pregnon is higher on wins above replacement. He's higher on height. He's higher. he's higher in terms of important to an Oregon offensive line that had a much stronger quarterback prospect that it needed to be protecting. Did Ione go in with the hype and just maintain the hype? Is it that
No.
Did Oregon have better pieces around Pregnon? Who had the better offensive line between Penn State and Oregon last year?
I'd say Oregon.
Okay. So Pregnon's
off the top of my dome thinking about it.
Able to rest on their laurels that they got rid of their dog shit left tackle last year. And as a result, they dished by subtraction.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Oregon had the better overall offensive line.
And once again, that is entirely because they got rid of their previous tackle.
Mm-hmm. Who you love? He's your favorite player right here. You got a jersey for Josh Connerly?
If I had a jersey for Josh Connerly, it would just be to tie around my neck and hang myself from the ceiling fan.
Jesus Christ!
What? Mike, flipping to the other side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The much maligned edge rusher class, with now prospects cascading down the board. Your best pass rusher in Rueben Bain, the number 1 pick from this at 8. Second, David Bailey at 4. Mike, once again, referencing Matt Miller's mock draft, do you know where his first edge rusher comes off the board?
8.
8 is correct, unless you count Arvell Reese as an edge rusher, which...
Okay.
Are we counting Arvell Reese as an edge rusher?
Dude, I don't even know. That's why, like between this and linebacker, just for, to put out information on it, it was so weird tracking these big boards. But every big board had Bain designated as just an edge. That's why he got the most votes. Compared to some boards just had Arvell Reese in their linebacker category. Some had him in both the linebacker and edge category. It's I don't know how to judge that. And I have my concerns about Arvell Reese at this point. But go ahead.
So, if Arvell Reese is an edge rusher, I think that he's probably the unanimous number 1 pick at this point. But at number 8, Matt Miller doesn't even have Rueben Bain going. He has David Bailey going at 8 and Rueben Bain at 9.
Yes,
are these two players?
This David Bailey push big?
Yeah, what is this, right? Is it because we knew about the production all year? It's not like, Texas Tech had a phenomenal national championship game or something, and we were like, well, we really got to readjust. You know who did have a phenomenal national championship game, Mike?
Rueben Bain?
Rueben Bain. So what is this? What is this Rueben Bain freefall? Is it just we've been looking at him too long? I don't get it. Is it because he's got T-Rex arms?
I mean, that is a big part of it. And I mean, honestly, we joke about it because every year there's some top draft prospect. They're like, oh, those arms are short. Last year it was Will Campbell, and he completely fell off this year as the year went on. But I get it. There are some reps when you watch him where if he doesn't, sometimes if he doesn't, he's great at coming off the line. Likes to kind of do like that vertical come off the line and come in. And so he's great at catching tackles off guard. And that's when he's really just like, you're fucked. I've beaten you. Tell your quarterback to watch out. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when those tackles are ready to go and they catch him, them T-Rex arms come into play because he struggles to disengage and get off that block. And so that can be an issue. With that said, I think there's so many positives that I'd be willing to overlook his tiny little Tyrannosaurus Jurassic Park arms and say, go for it. I mean, we saw him play against some very good offensive lines and be very productive, whether it be Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Ohio State. I mean, Indiana. He did very well in that national title game. Mendoza did not have a great game. Mr. Greatest quarterback in the draft.
You can't steal my. You're too late, Mike. That's my spot. You can't push me off the Mendoza is overrated spot. I've been doing it for so long.
The only thing that pissed me off is during the series of Dan Orlovsky getting crucified for daring to have an opinion is he kind of poo-pooed Mendoza in big games. And he had some big games where the stat lines weren't great, and people were like, oh, look at all these big games he played and won a natty. And my first thought was how many big title-winning games whether that be conference or national, did Patrick Mahomes play in? Did Josh Allen play in? Did Tom Brady play in? Even Andrew Luck. that doesn't really translate.
Yeah, Tom Brady, who ended up winning the most Super Bowls in NFL history, a record that may never be broken in our lifetime, played in, I'm reading here, 0 national championship games?
Yeah. I mean, like, look at all those big games he played in and his team won. Those are sprinkles on the draft profile Sunday.
Yeah.
They're not the scoops of ice cream. But anyway, back to edge rushers. Sorry.
Make the case for why David Bailey deserves to be a prospect ahead of Rueben Bain. Even if you don't believe it. Just make the case for that.
I mean, David Bailey was just a monster this year. Pure production at 14 and a half sacks. He's aggressive. Once again, a good jump and explosive off the line. He has size that's extremely comparable. He's
about 20 pounds lighter.
Bain's got about 20 pounds on him, yeah.
Outside of that.
But yeah, I mean, he does a lot great. I think if you want to be a stickler, I guess when you think about it, both these prospects are kind of tough if you bring the conference competition into it. ACC, not a strong conference. Big 12 have some good teams up top, but not a great strong conference from top to bottom. So I guess both of them, you have to throw that out because it's pretty equal. So basically, you asked me to make the case for him, and I came out and said, "Yeah, I don't know."
Yeah, I was going to say I asked you to make the case, and you went, "Well, both these players can play football."
That's what I'm saying is like I wouldn't dog a team for taking him.
At interior defensive line, interior crocodile alligator. Right now, the clear runaway favorite, Peter Woods, a.k.a. the man who fell all the way down draft boards. Number 2, only a few boards, but Caden McDonald, the other person that we do need to discuss here. Mike, what happened to this interior defensive line class?
Yeah, people really fell off on it, and I guess it's fair to say it may not be the strongest class. Caden McDonald has a ring on his finger and played phenomenal this year. Caleb Banks, due to injuries, only played a few games at the end of the year, but when he came in, you were like, God damn, this Caleb Banks guy, what the fuck he done? And Sir Peter Woods, like halfway through the season, I was super down on all these like first round graded Clemson products. So I was like, their season's going to shit. Where are these first round players? They're supposed to be booing it up. But then a lot of them, Avion Terrell included, got better as the year went on and kind of got back in the groove. I really like Peter Woods. Seeing some of his reps on tape, his ability to, when he gets double teamed, like, yeah, it's great to be like, oh, this guy beat a double team. You know what also is really good? To be like, this dude like took this double team and clenched onto them both. They held the double team, and that just opened up this massive hole for another dude to come bursting through. Is also a great thing. He's also twitchy. I saw one person say he had had some Aaron Donald qualities, and I was like, all right, let's settle down. Let's not compare him to like the best defensive tackle we've seen in
by which
God
they mean
knows
he
how
plays the same position as Aaron Donald.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, people have said I have Aaron
really
Donald qualities because we are both human beings. So
yes,
I'm an Aaron Donald-esque podcaster.
Aaron Donald-esque, yeah.
What about Caden McDonald?
I mean,
do you even have him on your personal big board? Do you even have him as the second best interior defensive line prospect in this draft?
Yeah, I'd say he's second. If I'm in on Peter Woods, you'd have to go Caden McDonald second. I mean, he also had a great year. You could even argue Caden McDonald's a little bit better from like a pass rushing standpoint, a little bit better. I mean, the dude won a ring.
Okay,
he didn't just win a ring; he was a big part of that team.
We just said that the rings culture thing is overrated.
Right, but once again, twisting points to try to fit my narrative. Come on. So I like them as well. I think McDonald, Woods, and Banks will probably be like a toss-up for who's going to be the best defensive tackle coming into the season. But just based on what I've seen on tape, I really like the movement off the snap and the twitchiness of Peter Woods the most.
Next up, we have the most contentious class in this draft. Linebacker, Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. You have them both listed as the top prospect. Mike, we're just going to do a blink test here. Just immediately tell me. You can only have one player on your team for the next 5 years. Sonny Styles or Arvell Reese. Who you taking?
Sonny Styles.
There you go. All right, on to the next one. Cornerback. Mike, what's the case for Sonny Styles over Arvell Reese?
There's no question. I know what I'm truly getting. I'm getting a linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with where am I playing him.
here is the thing, though. First off, Sonny Styles is definitely has some tweener shit to him. Arvell Reese way more, but like up until the combine, Arvell Reese was the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're double counting Sonny Styles, is my concern. Guess what we knew before the combine, Mike? We knew Sonny Styles was athletic. There was no question about that. Then he went to the
He
combine.
was double down on it.
And he was athletic, and we went, well, we got to raise him up draft boards. He's athletic. We knew that already.
Yeah.
Is there any concern here that we are giving Sonny Styles too much credit for something we are already accounting for, and that's part of his climb up these big boards?
I mean, that's a fair point. I don't worry too much about it, though. I mean, I think you're getting a true linebacker in Sonny Styles. Now,
let's be honest. We know Arvell Reese is going to be a pass rusher.
I mean, he even said that in combine interviews. I want to be a pass rusher. What I say, I don't know. I skimmed it like you're split. What's good old Arvell? Because that's a normal name size. I can't remember.
6'3".
You got it up in front of you.
6'4", 243.
Yeah, 6'4", 243. Literally just basically the same thing as Sonny Styles. He's an inch taller.
Yeah. Which, as we know from the previous segment, either matters or doesn't matter.
Right. So when you compare that to, like, from the edge rushing standpoint, you compare that to, like, a Rueben Bain, who at 270, Bain can actually play in tight. You know, Bain's a defensive end. He's not just an edge rusher. Compared to Arvell Reese, who is literally just he's just an edge rusher, which is a bad thing. But when you watch the tape on Ohio State, he mostly played that position where he's like, how do I explain it? Like you're outside of the defensive end, but you're basically only like a few steps behind him. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in a
That's what he
2-point
does.
stance. Yeah.
Yeah. Ready to just gun it at the quarterback. Like Sonny Styles, I just think you're getting a stud who can play the linebacker position, which you could make the argument like linebacker is a position where it's like you're either like notably great above all the other ones, you're either dog shit hurting your team, and everybody else is in the middle. You know?
Yes, because it's an easy thing to scheme around.
Right. I think we saw him play some Mike linebacker, some Will linebacker throughout the year, and I think he's got it all. I think he's got it above the shoulders. He catches on to things the defenses are doing offenses are doing pre-snap and can communicate to the defense. I'm big on old Sonny.
I mean, the ideal thing for Sonny Styles is that you're going to treat him like you're Kyle Hamilton, but at linebacker instead of safety. He will be, or you're Nick Worry. He's a piece you move around, and he's the center point of your defense.
Yeah, there is some versatility to good old Sonny.
Yeah. And you want him to be the green dot guy, I assume, if you're drafting him this high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
We'll see, Mike. We'll see. We'll see who goes off the... I mean, we know who's going to go off the board first. We'll see who's the best prospect at linebacker. But, like, Arvell Reese is not going to play linebacker, man. He's going to get to the NFL. They're going to just teach him to put his hand in the dirt. He's going to be a Micah Parsons-type pass rusher.
And it's just like you have one thing. And so I just worry, like...
But
that
that
comes
one
into
thing
play,
is the most valuable thing you can do on the defense.
It is. But I got to be honest, I'm shorting the Arvell Reese stock, and I'm waiting. I can't wait to throw my dollar bills up in the air halfway through the season.
In classic Mike fashion, he shorted stock and only ended up with singles.
Like LeBron James throwing up the baby powder or whatever it is. Talcum powder, sorry.
Mike, cornerback. Currently, the top prospect, according to most big boards, Mansour Delane out of LSU. Been mocked more recently to the Washington Commanders, which doesn't surprise me. The other prospect and the preseason favorite at this position, Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee. Like I said, that threw some stank on it.
Really only 10, I see.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Mike, is Mansour Delane the best corner prospect in this class?
Dude, I don't love this corner class. I think it's because I struggled to buy in on the Mansour Delane being the number one overall thing. And I mean, by the numbers and how, like, I think that's definitely probably the fair choice because you have to think about Jerrod McCoy and be like, that guy didn't play football last year. So what is going on there? It was surprising to see Mansour Delane keep up his level of play. And I mean, like, arguably have a better season. Either one of those things, depending on how you interpret it, when he moved up from ACC competition to SEC. is
Where did he
a bit
transfer from?
surprising. He was a Hokie.
Okay. Which is Texas, Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech. Yeah. Sorry,
Virginia Tech. Yeah,
I knew it said to connect the dots.
he went from listening to Enter Sandman as he entered the stadium to, I'm guessing, like Louis Armstrong or something. Is that what they play down there? I don't know.
It's the sound of frying crawfish.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hear the song anyway over all the drunk fans. But anyway,
Here's my thing with
it's
Spencer Delane that
Yeah.
I'm curious about. A lot of the reason that a corner typically climbs out of the blue when they weren't initially a top prospect going in is because they have a very high turnover rate season. Think Emmanuel Forbes a few years ago.
Yeah.
The opposite's true of Delane. Delane only had 2 interceptions last year, but climbed boards. Is he just like physically a very good player? What caused this climb up the boards?
yeah, I mean, he is physically a very good player. Only 14 receptions on 35 targets. Sticky to defenders, and I think he's very good. Like I said, I don't love this corner class. So really the guy who's kind of caught my eye, and I really liked him at the combine as well. And he has a pro day coming up soon here. Or wait, is it a private pro day? Because he missed it.
About cease and desist?
Is that what they're calling Brandon Cisse?
That's what we've
Or
been
Brandon
calling him.
Cisse? I like that. No, I'm talking about Avion Terrell, who I think is also very good at a Clemson.
I believe
The
he
funny
was
thing
the
is, if
Prospect
you-
Wordle answer last week.
Yeah. If you said to me, what corner do you like the most in this draft? I just wish he was 2 inches taller, and that's D'Angelo Pons.
Okay. Not buying Colton Hood stock.
No, not really. I love me some D'Angelo Pons. I think he is ridiculously good at the position. I just fear that going from college to the NFL, being 5'9", being an inch shorter than Bryce Young could be a problem. But, I mean, if you got athleticism to make up for that, and you got good hands, ball tracking ability, and you're able to make up for that, then you're fine. That was a lot of ifs, wasn't it?
Do you think Jermod McCoy would be the top prospect in this class if he didn't have his injury history?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, it's tough to say. You have to weigh what he did the year before with what's going on with him, and not see, he hasn't done anything in the pre-draft process. Even though I know at the combine he did not partake, if you will, but the word was like, oh, like he's healthy, but they decided not to be a part of it. And it's like, okay, well, is he healthy then? Because I don't buy that.
Mike, doubting doctors is normal.
Yeah. I want to do my own research, Adam. I want to do my own research.
You did. You looked at 12 big boards.
Yeah.
Let's close it out here, Mike.
Last one.
We'll be a little brief on this one because I think that it's both the most obvious and the largest gulf in the class. Although maybe people disagree these days. But Caleb Downs coming in number 1 on every big board at safety. Some big boards have him as the best prospect in the entire mother-flipping class.
Mm-hmm.
Is Caleb Downs the best safety prospect in this class?
Caleb Downs is, next to Jeremiah Love, is my favorite prospect in this entire class. And I would have told that to you a year beforehand.
You did.
Because he would have been
You've been talking about Caleb Downs for 2 years
Yeah.
in this fucking podcast, Mike.
He would have been the first.
If I went back and I did, because right after last year's draft, I did a 2026 draft prospect wordle, like the next week.
Yeah.
And I think the answer was Caleb Downs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, he would have been the first safety possible. I mean, most likely the first defensive back off the board last year. He's going to be it this year. He has everything in a safety, from what he has above the shoulders and his ability to read a defense and communicate. You can play him up high as a safety. You can play him down low. Great run defender. Athletic. The dude just has everything. Best safety prospect I've seen since Kyle Hamilton. And teams fucked up with Kyle Hamilton, let him drop to the Ravens. And we'll have to wait and see if they get so hung up that next to his name there's a big S for his position that they screw up and let this one drop. Like right now I see him, oh my God, Tinkathon has him mocked to the Chiefs, and I think I'd punch myself in the face repeatedly.
Right now he is being mocked on PFF to the Bengals.
Okay, one spot lower.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I hate that from the stance of, I get it, he's a safety. This guy's a top 5 pick, the same way Kyle Hamilton was. you are
Kyle
getting
Hamilton wasn't, though. That's the important thing to remember.
Right. I'm saying the same way Kyle Hamilton should have fucking been. Like, you were getting a cornerstone of a defense for what you can do. And like when I mention his football IQ, I personally think that's a big thing at safety. Where you're playing on the field, there has to be a lot of seeing what happens pre-snap, quickly diagnosing what's happening during the play, and reaction speed to it. And Downs has all those in spades, which I've never understood that expression, but he has it.
If you have all spades, you have a flush, and that's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Mike, I'm gonna rattle off a couple other things here. You just answer yes or no.
Okay.
Day 1 pick, Dylan Thieneman, yes or no?
Yes, absolutely yes.
Day 1 pick, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, yes or no?
Yes.
So we're gonna have 3 safeties go in the first round, according to Mike Regan of the Town Alone podcast.
Good safety class.
Good safety class, and that's usually a bad thing when you get into your safety class.
I wanted to make this point. I didn't make it on a previous podcast. I made too. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I think I fudged that, or never mind. Went to Toledo, same place Quinyon Mitchell, and you could say, what does that mean? Does that really matter? They're different players. Well, what that tells me is he played for the same coaching staff that helped produce Quinyon Mitchell. So there is something to that.
Right. Anyways, Mike. They play different positions. Mike.
Both DBs.
Suddenly now you're the guy that doesn't care about positional delineation. You made me You made me talk about offensive tackle and interior offensive line in this conversation.
I've been nitpicking a lot.
Mike, we have one more segment we gotta get through here before the end of the podcast, and that's a little segment we call Prospect Wordle. Now, for those of you new to the podcast, Prospect Wordle is a game we play around these parts where I have come up with a prospect ahead of time, and draft expert and notable large cockhaver Mike Regan has 6 opportunities to guess the prospect that I have picked ahead of time. Before each guess, Mike will receive a hint. Those hints in order are the height and weight, projected draft day, class or times transferred, position, conference, and finally team. Mike, are you ready for this Monday edition of Prospect Wordle?
Let's do it.
All right, Mike. This player is 6 foot, 195 pounds.
6 foot, 195. It's got to be a receiver, right?
Stop losing your head.
Lost in your butt.
Your cavernous ears.
We're just going to keep going, though. We're going to power through. That's got to be a receiver. I feel like we're way out of doing. Oh, okay. I'm going to say this because you mentioned him earlier. Bryce Lance.
No.
Oh, damn it.
I think Bryce Lance is bigger than that. 6 foot, 195 pounds. Mike, this player is currently a day 2 prospect, which means he's between the 33rd and 64th pick in the draft.
Okay.
Sorry, that's not right. 33rd and 96th pick in the draft.
Okay. He could be a cornerback then. So let's go with old cease and desist, Brandon Cease.
No. 6 foot, 195, day 2. Mike, would you like to know this player's class or times transferred?
Times transferred.
6 foot, 195, day 2. This player has transferred twice.
Twice?
Twice. A double transfer.
A double transfer? What's happening with our sport these days?
Transfer. Our sport?
My sport. This team likes the portal. I don't know if he was a transfer. So I'll say Chris Bell out of Louisville.
No.
All right.
6 foot,
like
185.
Inhale before the nose. All right.
Day 2 prospect. This player has transferred twice and is a cornerback.
Okay, so I was right off the bat.
Unlike Chris Bell, he is a cornerback.
Cornerback. Day 2. Day 2 corner. Day 2 corner.
Although Chris Bell does have the same initials as that position. So that's interesting.
Okay. He does. Day 2 corner. The transfer thing's throwing me off.
It shouldn't throw you off. It should be a hint that should help you.
It is, but I'm not sure about these Day 2 corners. Keontae Scott?
No. 6 foot, 195, day 2, twice transferred double over. A cornerback who plays in the SEC, Mike. The SEC. The SEC.
SEC. The SEC? And it's not Brandon C. So you want to double check your notes, make sure.
Is that your official guess?
No, I just want to make sure you didn't mess up.
Yes.
SEC.
Sure. The SEC.
Colton Hood?
Colton Hood is correct, Mike. You have Prospect Wordle 5 guesses. You know, I mentioned him earlier in the podcast, and so when you said, "Oh, you mentioned this guy earlier, so I'm going to go with him," I was like, "Is he going to get this after the first person?" But then you mentioned the other guy that I mentioned.
And then you also mentioned Brandon C. So I was like, got him on this one.
I made sure to drop a "you're not a big Colton Hood guy" there right at the end to see if I could get him in your brain, in your mind jellies.
Yeah, I don't have Colton Hood in my brain as a guy who transferred twice, so I didn't think of that.
Transferred from Auburn to Colorado to Tennessee.
Huh. Interesting.
All right, Mike, you got any plugs on the way out the door here?
Yeah, follow me on the socials that are in the show notes, as Adam always says. Also, getting close to the draft, I've started putting together my list, Adam. Day 3 Darlings.
There you go. Day 3 Darlings.
It's coming back.
Classic Mike Regan article.
After that, I'm going to shift to some hockey content.
There you go. Speaking of hockey content, we'll be back on Wednesday. Well, we'll record the podcast on Wednesday. It'll come out on Thursday to talk about the NHL at large. And then the following week, Mike, you'll be flying into town, and your arms will be very tired from that. If you like what we do,
I hope that doesn't happen.
What?
I just did a crashing noise. I don't want that to happen. Sorry.
If you like what we do here, we also have another channel on YouTube at Talent Alone Stream, where we live stream twice a week. If you're listening to the audio version of this, first off, follow us on Spotify or Apple, whatever your platform of choice is, because Spotify, once again, is yelling about me, about how a podcast of this size should have more followers. But if you're listening to the audio version and you would like to see the video version because you have a short attention span and you like a lot of things that cut between things, check us out at Talent Alone Podcast on YouTube, where we post all of our podcasts with very cool thumbnails. Mm-hmm. You can email us at townalonepodcast@gmail.com. This week, tell us your best nickname for a cornerback in the draft, and if any of them can beat cease and desist, I'll send you Mike's hat. And with that, Mike, on the way out the door here, would you care to give a shout-out to any safeties from the 2026 NFL draft class?
I'll give a shout-out to Dylan Dollar Bills, y'all. Thieneman.
That's crazy because you had you were shorting stock on someone else that you talked about dollar bills with. You're just confusing your branding here, Mike.
Yeah, I'm all over the place today.
Let's get out of here.